In last class, we discussed step graded junction and linear graded junction capacitance derivations, right? Mainly in step graded junction, doping concentration is not equal, right? There are other names for step graded junction, abrupt junction or alloy junction or fusion junction, right? And the doping concentration is not equal, Nd not equal to Nd. So that then we can easily derive the junction capacitance, right? There are two types of abrupt junctions, P plus N junction, Pn plus junction, right? Okay, already all these things we derived. Finally, we derive the expression W is equal to under root 2 epsilon Si by Q 1 by Nd into V naught. Okay, width of the junction is directly proportional to under root V naught, where V naught is the built-in potential, right? And then we derive the Cj naught. Cj naught is the junction capacitance under equilibrium condition, that is equal to A into under root epsilon naught Si Q into Na by 2V naught, that is Pn plus junction. P plus N junction, only small change instead of Na, here it is Nd. Once you know the Cj naught, we can easily derive Cj. It is a forward bias. Cj is equal to Cj naught by under root 1 minus here, where V is the forward bias voltage, V by V naught. So it is a reverse bias. Cj is equal to Cj naught into 1 plus Vr by V naught whole to the power of minus 1 or under root. Okay, here Vr is the reverse voltage. Similarly, we derived the same capacitance expression for linear graded junction also. So this is also called ground junction, linear graded junction or ground junction. Okay, this is the voltage profile. This is charge density profile. In this voltage profile, we are assuming that minus W by 2 is equal to 0. At plus W by 2 is the maximum, that is equal to built-in potential. So voltage is equal to V naught at X is equal to W by 2. At X is equal to minus W by 2, voltage is equal to 0. Okay, these are all some boundary conditions. These boundary conditions are used to derive the W. Okay, here finally we derive W like this, right? The W is equal to 12 into epsilon Si by Q into K into V naught, okay, whole to the power of 1 by 3. Whereas in step graded or abrupt junction, W is directly proportional to under root V naught. Now here W is directly proportional to cube root. And V naught in linear junction, okay, 2 kT ln by QL, 2 kT by Q into ln K into W by Ni. And the transition capacitance Cj naught or Ct naught, that is equal to under no bias condition A into Q into K into epsilon Si whole square by 12 V naught under cube root. Right, once we know the Cj naught, now Cj in forward bias, just replace V naught with V naught minus V. In reverse bias, V naught with V naught plus Vr. Right? Okay. So this is about previous class discussion. Capacitance derivations, step graded junction as well as linear graded junction. Okay, how many students are joining? Total 70 students are joining. Wait one minute. Okay, thank you. And today class, we discuss another important concept, PN junction diode under reverse bias condition, breakdown mechanisms, right? PN junction diode, breakdown mechanisms. Okay, already we know the VI characteristics of a PN junction diode. In normal forward bias, right, when V greater than some cut-in voltages, current exponentially increases. And coming to the reverse bias, if the breakdown mechanism occurs only when diode operated in reverse bias. Observe here, up to certain voltage in reverse bias, up to certain voltage and current almost constant, very small current flows through the junction, that current due to minority carriers only. So that current due to minority carriers, that current also called reverse saturation current. Okay, that current is almost constant. Okay, it is in the range of nano amperes. That current almost constant, independent of reverse voltage. That current is constant up to certain voltage. Okay, in normal diode, we operate the device less than breakdown voltage. Normal PN junction diode, we operate the diodes less than breakdown voltage. We are not operated the diode greater than breakdown voltage. Greater than breakdown voltage, what happens means normal diode may damage, that it cannot handle that much of power. Now what happened here, when we goes on increase the reverse voltage, at one point breakdown occurs. When diode enter into breakdown region, what happens means there is a huge amount of current. Observe here in this area, there is a huge amount of current flows through the junction from N to P. Observe here current direction, forward current direction. What is the direction current here? P to N. Here the current direction is P to N. Whereas in reverse and current direction is N to P. Current direction is N to P. Okay. This is due to minority carriers only. Remember this one. This is due to minority carriers only, N to P. Okay. Now, when we goes on increase the reverse voltage, at one point what happens means diode enter into breakdown. At breakdown, what happens? At breakdown, there is a huge amount of current flows through the junction. Okay, voltage almost constant. If the voltage breakdown voltage almost constant, okay, very minute variations, but current is increases. Okay, what happens at that point? There is something happening at that point. Why? Because less than breakdown voltage, no charge carriers. Charge carriers almost all zero charge carriers. Okay, it is in the range of nano ampere current, very small amount of it. Just once it cross the breakdown voltage, huge amount of charge carriers cross the PN junction. Okay, there is something happen at breakdown voltage. Okay. Okay, here there is a resistor. That resistor main purpose is that resistor limits the current. Okay, in reverse bias, the main purpose of this resistor is resistor limits the current. Otherwise, in ideally infinite current flows through the PN junction after breakdown. Okay. Now there are some special diodes. Okay. Normal PN junction not used greater than breakdown voltage. Manufacturers, especially manufacturers, they design operate the device even greater than breakdown voltages. These diodes are called special diodes. Okay. These special diodes, the power handling capability greater than normal PN junction diode. Right? Okay, remember this one. That to operate the diodes in breakdown region, manufacturers specially designed. These diodes are called special diodes. Okay, these diodes are breakdown diodes. The power handling capability of this breakdown diodes are very, very high compared to normal PN junction diodes. Okay. Now here observe here. We have found that a PN junction biased in the reverse direction exhibits a small, essentially voltage independent saturation current. Okay, very, very small current flows, normal PN junction. This is true until a critical reverse bias is reached, for which reverse breakdown occurs. Okay, that means very, very small amount of current flows in this area, less than breakdown voltage. That current also independent of reverse voltage. Remember that one. Independent of reverse voltage. Now at critical voltage, breakdown voltage, reverse current through the diode increases sharply. Huge amount of current flows to the PN junction or increases sharply. And relatively large current can flow with a little further increase in voltage. The existence of a critical breakdown voltage introduces almost right angle appearance to the reverse characteristics of the diode. Okay, almost the current is here, the slope is vertical here. Almost it behaves like a right angle behavior, right? Okay. Now, what is the region? Okay, there are two types of breakdown mechanisms. One is tunneling, Ginner breakdown, and second one is avalanche breakdown. One is tunneling, Ginner breakdown, and second one is avalanche breakdown. Okay. So what is the major difference between Ginner breakdown and avalanche breakdown? Reverse breakdown can occur by two mechanisms, each of which require a critical electric field in the junction transition region. The first mechanism is called the Ginner effect. It is operative at low voltages up to few volts reverse bias only. If the breakdown voltage occurs at higher voltages from a few volts to thousands of volts, remember here, Ginner effect occur at less than 10 volts, you can say. Okay, at low voltages up to few volts reverse bias. Whereas in avalanche breakdown, the breakdown occurs from a few volts to thousands of volts. The mechanism is called avalanche breakdown. Remember this one, right? Always Ginner breakdown occurs at lower voltages, whereas avalanche breakdown occurs at higher voltages. The concept is same. What is the concept? Once the reverse voltage crosses the breakdown voltage, huge amount of current goes to the junction due to minority carriers. Remember that one, right? Okay, voltage almost constant. Current is infinite current. Ideally, current is infinite current goes to the junction. Okay. Now here we discuss one by one Ginner breakdown. Ginner breakdown also called tunneling. Here the name is actually what happening means the procedure is tunneling procedure. The tunneling is observed. First person is Ginner. Okay, Ginner is a scientist name. Ginner is a scientist. He observed the tunneling in breakdown in reverse bias. So that's why. Okay, later on, the tunneling breakdown renamed as a Ginner breakdown, right? Okay. Okay, we cannot clearly differentiate between avalanche breakdown and reverse breakdown, Zener breakdown, right? So that we go for band diagrams. In energy band diagrams only, we can easily differentiate between Zener breakdown as well as avalanche breakdown, right? Okay. Now here, what are the requirements for Zener breakdown, right? Here the requirement is, okay, these are the requirements. When a heavily doped junction is reverse biased, this is the first condition. What is the first condition? First condition is heavily doped PN junction. Okay, if the operation is reverse biased only, the first condition is heavily doped PN junction. The energy bands becomes crossed at a relatively low voltages. Observe here yellow lines. That is, N-side conduction band appears opposite the P-side valency band. Now what happened means, here, what is the first one? First one is the heavily doped PN junction at equilibrium condition. Okay, this is the Fermi level here. Okay, this is the valency band. This is the conduction band. This is for P-side. Similarly for N-side, it is a valency band. It is a conduction band. This is under equilibrium condition. Now when we apply a large reverse voltage, observe the figure B, large reverse voltage. Now what happens means energy bands like this. What happened width? That is depletion layer width is narrow, very small. This happening due to the heavily doped PN junction as well as high electric field. Why? Because we are applying a large electric voltage, large reverse voltage. Due to this, what happened means the electric field here, within a junction, the electric field is very high. And observe here, P side and N side. P side valency band, it contains a more number of charge carriers, say electrons, suppose. Exactly opposite to the N side conduction band. Okay, this one is P side valency band. It contains a large number of charge carriers. It will exactly opposite to the N side conduction band. Okay, in that N side conduction band, all states are empty states. Remember this one, right? One side is huge number of charge carriers. In the another side, huge number of empty states. And the spacing between these two is very narrow. D is very small. Now what happens is, due to this large negative voltage, electric field is created. This electric field is sufficient to move the charge carriers by using the tunneling. It can directly move the valency band into conduction band. Actually, what is the procedure? Normal procedure is, if the P side electron move into P side conduction band, once it reaches the P side conduction band to N side conduction band. Okay, that is a procedure, right? Otherwise, I will explain here. Go for paint. Okay, normal procedure here is, okay, this is valency band, this is conduction band. Electron moves from, okay, this is something like P side, valency band to conduction band, electron, right? Now this electron, this is N side, this electron move into N side conduction band. This is N side conduction band. This is N side valency band. Okay. This is first step, this is second step. So normal procedure is, whatever the electron here, that will first of all move into conduction band in P side, then conduction band electron in P side to move into conduction band in N side. Okay, that is the normal procedure happening. But due to heavily doped as well as the width of the depletion is very small, due to this what happens means the electron directly move from valency band to conduction band. P side valency band to N side conduction band directly. Like that it acquires sufficient energy. So this is called the tunneling mechanism, electron tunneling. Remember this one. Why? Because the space is very, very small space. The depletion width is very, very small. So that electron directly it acquires sufficient energy and it will directly move the P side valency band to N side conduction band directly. Right? Okay. Here what happened? Huge number of electrons move like this. P side valence band to N side conduction band directly using the tunneling mechanism. Okay, due to this what happened means large amount of current flows through the junction. Okay, this is called the Zener breakdown mechanism. Remember this one, right? It does not go to the normal way. What is normal way? P side valence band to P side conduction band. That is the first step. And second step is P side conduction band to N side conduction band. That is normal process. But using tunneling mechanism, it does not follow the normal procedure. It directly move the P side valence band to N side conduction band directly. Okay. Now, what are the requirements for tunneling? When tunneling happens, right? Observe here. When a heavily doped PN junction is reverse biased, the energy bands become crossed at relatively low voltages. That is, N side conduction band appears opposite the P side valence band. The crossing of the bands aligns the large number of empty states in N side conduction band opposite the many filled state of the P side valence band. If the barrier separating these two bands is narrow, tunneling of electron can occur, right? If these two conditions exist, then tunneling of electron is possible. What are the conditions here? One is large electric field and second one is heavily doped PN junction. Heavily doped PN junction means the width is very, very small. Depletion width is very, very small. Now in this case only tunneling occurs. Now what happens means, okay, here observe the blurred area. Blurred area indicates large number of electrons available in valency band exactly opposite to the conduction band in N side. Empty states are available. So immediately electron after acquiring the sufficient energy immediately jump into valency band to conduction band, P side to N side. This procedure is called the tunneling mechanism. This procedure first observed by a scientist is called the Zener. So that's why this type of breakdown is called Zener breakdown. Right. Once a large number of charge carriers moving from this side to this side, then huge number of carriers crossing the junction results in a weak current flows to the PN junction. Right. The basic requirement for tunneling current are large number of electrons separated from a large number of empty space by a narrow barrier of finite height. Okay. In some other way, and simply we can say how without energy band diagrams, how we can explain the Zener breakdown mechanism. Okay. What happens in depletion region due to high electric field? What is electric field? E is equal to, observe here the last one. Electric field E is equal to V by W, where W is the width of the depletion region. Here this is the heavily doped PN junction. W is equal to very, very small. If W is equal to 1 micrometer, right? W is equal to 1 micrometer. Let us say W is equal to 1 micrometer. Here V is the applied voltage. If we apply voltage 1 volt, suppose Then electric field, what is electric field? E is equal to 1 by 10 to the power of minus 6 meters. Then that will goes to up. What is electric field? Electric field is equal to 10 power 6 volt per meter. It is a very high electric field. Remember this one, right? Just we are considering the reverse voltage only 1 volt. 1 volt is the reverse voltage. 1 by what is the W here? W is equal to 1 micrometer. That is the width of the depletion region. Now what happens means electric field. Electric field is equal to 10 to the power of 6 volt per meter. Okay. So that what is the value here? 10 power 6. Okay. 1 mega volt per meter. Okay. Very large amount of electric field is created within a small area. Right. Now what happens? Charge carriers are free charge carriers available only if covalent bonds are break. Right. Okay. In any case, whether it is a avalanche breakdown or it is a Ginner breakdown, compulsory covalent bonds must be break. Then only charge carriers are available. Okay. Observe here. In the simplest covalent bonding model, the Ginner effect can be thought of a field of ionization of the host atoms at the junction. That is, the reverse bias of heavily doped junction. Observe here. Heavily doped junction causes a large electric field within a W. At a critical field strength, electrons participating in covalent bonds may be break from the bonds by the field and accelerated to the inside of the junction. Once this type of high electric field is created, what happens means large number of electrons may break the covalent bonds, then cross the junction. Okay, that is the simply we can say the Ginner effect. Okay, what is the condition here? In Ginner effect, in covalent bond modeling, once the large electric field is created, how a large electric field is created? W is equal to very small. W is equal to small means heavily doped PN junction only it is possible. Once large electric field is created, within a junction what happens means large number of electrons break the covalent bond and cross the junction. Okay? The minimum electric field. The electric field required for this type of ionization is in the order of 10 power 6 per meter. Okay, ionization is a process of breaking the covalent bonds, right? Okay, how much of the electric field here? 10 power 6 volt per meter. Then what happens means within this W region, large number of covalent bonds may break the large number of charge carriers may break the covalent bonds and cross the junction. Remember, this is due to minority carriers only, right? In P side, what are the minority carriers? Electrons. Electrons go to N side. In N side, minority carriers are holes. Holes are goes to P side. Like that, this minority carriers cross the junction. That number of charge carriers is after, so that large amount of current flows through the junction. Okay. Now coming to the another important characteristics, breakdown voltage temperature coefficient, right? Okay. Now already we know that due to the narrow barrier, narrow width, electron directly here observe the blue electron directly moving from P side valency band to N side conduction band. Now what happened here? Temperature dependence. If temperature increases, what happens? Whether the breakdown increases, breakdown voltage increases or breakdown voltage decreases. In Ginner, observe this red line goes to T is equal to T1. And whereas here blue line, observe here light blue, T is equal to T2. Now what happens as temperature increases? As temperature increases means breakdown occurs at earlier voltages, right? Again, what happened means temperature increases within the junction. Now, due to this, what happened means large number of charge carriers moving across the junction. Now, due to this, what happened means the breakdown voltage. Suppose previously breakdown occurs at 5.5. Now, what temperature increases? Now, breakdown occurs at 5 volts only. That means as temperature increases, breakdown voltage decreases in GNR. Remember this one. Now what happened here? Temperature increases and Vz decreases. That means negative temperature coefficient. What type of coefficient here? Negative temperature coefficient in GNR breakdown. Okay. Now coming to the avalanche breakdown. Okay. What are the conditions for GNR breakdown? GNR breakdown is heavily doped and large electric field. Now here what happened here in avalanche breakdown? Here also large number of carriers cross the junction. Now this is happening at higher voltages. Okay. For lightly doped junction, electron tunneling is negligible. That is the first condition. Okay. Whenever you consider the avalanche breakdown, what type of junction here is lightly doped junctions. In lightly doped junctions, tunneling is negligible. Okay, instead of tunneling, what happens means the breakdown mechanism involves the impact of ionization of host atoms by energetic carriers. If the electric field in the transition region is a large, an electron entering from p side may be accelerated to high enough kinetic energy to cause an ionizing collision with the lattice. Okay, now here what happens means, observe here. This is the energy band diagram. Here observe here W, here the W is large. Okay, W is large. Due to high electric field, what happens means if one electron, at least one electron acquires sufficient kinetic energy, it will move fast towards the depletion region. It will break some covalent bonds. Whenever it will break some covalent bonds, one electron hole pair is created. And further, these electrons again having high kinetic energy, this will again break some other bonds in depletion region. Like that, what happens means huge number of carriers are generated. Okay, this is what happens means inside carrier multiplication taking place. Okay, so this is called the secondary emission, and observe here band diagram of PN junction in reverse biasing, showing a primary electron gaining kinetic energy in the field of the depletion region and creating a secondary electron hole pair by impact ionization. The primary electron losing most of its kinetic energy in the process. Okay. Once it will break the covalent bonds, it will generate one hole and one electron. Then it will lose kinetic energy. And the generated electron hole pair, further it will generate another electron hole pair. Like that, huge number of electron hole pairs are generated within a depletion region. Okay, here the avalanche multiplication or carrier multiplication taking place. Okay, observe here, either it is a second figure or like this. Okay. If one electron, here you consider the electron only. Similarly, holes also same. Hole multiplication, electron multiplication. Okay, why? Because once one electron break the covalent bond, it will generate a one hole and one electron. This electron and hole again further it will generate another one electron hole pair. Okay, like that what happen means huge number of charge carriers cross the junction. Here the p side magnetic, here in both cases magnetic carriers only. Current flowing through minority carriers only. P side here minority carriers electron, electron cross the n side. Similarly, n side holds towards P side. Okay, like that what happened means this type of process is called the avalanche multiplication. This type of avalanche multiplication is possible only at higher voltages. Okay, few tens of voltage to thousands of voltage. Then only what happen means carrier multiplication taking place due to high kinetic energy. Now coming to the temperature effects on characteristics, reverse characteristics. Whereas in GNR, what type of here in GNR, negative temperature coefficient. As temperature increases, breakdown voltage reduces. Now here what happens means as temperature increases, red line is at T is equal to T1 and blue line is at T is equal to T2. Now what is the meaning here? As temperature increases, breakdown voltage also increases. Okay, as temperature increases, what happens means due to rupturing of covalent bonds within a region, W region, due to this energy loss taking place. Okay, once the energy loss taking place means what happens is breakdown voltage also increase. Suppose previously breakdown voltage occurs at 70 volts. Now breakdown occurs at 80 volts. So what type of temperature coefficient here? Positive temperature coefficient. Remember this one. Avalanche breakdown is a positive temperature coefficient, whereas GNR breakdown is a negative temperature coefficient. Remember this one, right? Okay, this is about the breakdown mechanisms in PN junction. Okay, this is complete overview of PN junction in breakdown. Whereas in GNR effect occurs at low voltages and heavily doped. Heavily doped already we know that W is equal to 2 epsilon SI by Q. V naught into 1 by Na plus 1 by Nd. Na is large. Why? Because heavily doped. Similarly, Nd is large, heavily doped. 1 by large value is small. Small is multiplied means again the resultant one is small. Why? Because it is under root. So that W is equal to very, very small due to heavily doped. Now what happened means due to rupturing of covalent bonds, field ionization taking place. Like that we can explain another way. In another way means electron directly moving from P side valence band into N side conduction band using tunneling mechanism. A large number of electrons directly moving from P side valence band to N side conduction band, so that large amount of electrons cross the junction, so that large amount of current flows to the junction. Now coming to the second one, avalanche effect. What is avalanche effect here? Okay, it is from few volts to thousands of volts. Okay, this is due to the avalanche multiplication. Once we increase the reverse voltage, due to this reverse voltage, what happens means large electric field is created. Due to this electric field, if one electron, why? Because in P side, what are the minority carriers? Electron. One electron acquires sufficient kinetic energy. It will accelerate towards the N side with high speed. During this high speed, what happens means it will break some other covalent bonds and it will generate one electron hole pair. Similarly, resultant one electron and one hole, again it will generate another electron and hole pairs. Like that, the carrier multiplication taking place. That type of multiplication is called the avalanche multiplication. Due to this, what happens means large amount of carriers cross the junction. Now again large amount of current flows to the junction in reverse bias after breakdown. Now coming to the temperature characteristics, whereas in GNR it is the negative temperature coefficient, whereas it is avalanche, it is a positive temperature coefficient. Remember this one, right? This is about breakdown mechanisms in PN junction diode. Even though we use two diodes, Zener breakdown, Zener diode, avalanche breakdown, avalanche diode. But in usual case, the people use only Zener diodes. Then how can difference whether it is follow the Zener mechanism or avalanche mechanism means observe the breakdown voltage. If the breakdown voltage is less than 10 volts, the mechanism is Zener or tunneling mechanism. If the breakdown voltage is in terms of higher voltage like 70 volts to thousands, right? Hundreds to some thousands of volts, then the mechanism is avalanche breakdown. Okay, but common name is Zener diode only. Here the name is Zener only, right? And there is no separate avalanche diode, Zener diode. The people generally it is called as a Zener diodes only, right? Then how can identify the mechanism means if it is a breakdown voltage less than 10 volts, Zener. The breakdown voltage in terms of tens of volts to thousands of volts, that is an avalanche breakdown, right? So this is about the breakdown mechanisms in PN junction. Normal PN junction we not use greater than breakdown. Okay, if you want to use the breakdown, there is a special manufacturing procedure that can handle the higher power capabilities, right? Okay, that diodes are Zener diodes, right? Okay, that is about Zener mechanism. Now next class we will discuss symbol for Zener diode. What is the symbol for Zener diode? And Zener diode in detail characteristics.